ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
So I want to start with misinformation. Today, the president of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, he visited the White House. And they said tensions arose at the White House between Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa as the issue came around to the genocide of white South African farmers. Now, to me, it's common sense that there's no genocide happening against white South Africans. But this president lives in not just this is on purpose. You know, Hitler had a whole team of propagandists. He had a filmmaker who would go around and create film that they would put out into the world that depicted life in Germany quite differently than the final solution would finally tell us was actually happening. And the power of media and the power of film, the Birth of a Nation film, D.W. Griffith, so powerful that it was screened at the White House as kind of the due north of where this country should be going. There should be men on horses wearing white, preserving the sanctity of whiteness. And that became a theme. Now, if you weren't that, and you were the people depicted as rapists and murderers and thieves and low morals and values and all, then how do you fight that? You know, narratives are important, which is why, you know, for everybody that says you don't let somebody talk, I'm not going to let you talk if your talk is going to further pile on a narrative that's not true. And I don't know why you would allow it. You let people talk about your mama if it's not true. Now, you know the saying, I could talk about my mama, but you better not talk about my mama. But this goes beyond that because this is all of us, which is why I think, you know, RG3, while he's caping for dollars out there, and now our children got into it because that's where the money resides. Y'all look like the grifters that you are. And we should roundly reject it, all of us, no matter what hue your complexion is. We should all reject the narratives that will paint an entire group. Now, some would say you're painting white people, but you got to tell me what it means to be white. And if you can't properly define that, there's a larger issue in your soul that needs to be worked through. Now, you can tell me what it means to be Italian, what it means to be Polish, what it means to be German, what it means to be Irish, what it means to be, you can tell me what that means, but you cannot really tell me what it means to be white without having this edict around the oppression of other people. And this way that has been created for you to move into something with the sole purpose of denigrating other people. You shouldn't be okay with that. So South African president came here, and our president started with our president started with the nonsense of the genocide of white South Africans. I don't know which clip to play first, Smith. Should I play the ambush or should I play the play the ambush? Okay, so this is Trump trying to. Okay, play it, Miss.
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Our president will respond to you. Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And
No,
we
you
have
don't.
documentaries, we have
You know what, Smith?
news stories.
Smith.
and
Hello,
that-
hello,
is Natalie
hello.
here?
I don't want. He's not telling the truth. So, so Trump's like, no, we have thousands of stories. You don't have thousands of stories documenting. You do not have thousands of reputable stories documenting the genocide of white South Africans. You do not. That's a lie. So the question from the journalist in the room was, what do we do, with this this genocide? And the South African president, the question was towards Trump. What do we do to convince him? And the South African president jumped in and said, look, right here in the room, Retief Goosen, South African professional golfer. Those of you who follow golf when Tiger Woods was golfing, you know his name. He's South African. Ernie Els was in the room, another South African noted golfer. I don't know who the third person was, but these people don't have a story of genocide, and they're South African. He said, just listen to the people. But here's the thing. Trump knows it's a lie. He knows it's a lie. He's presenting something to the dummies that follow him. But he knows the truth because he does sit with these people. He golfs. He knows that there's no genocide. And I'm getting frustrated because the truth is a finger clip away. You just click, and search. So here's what I came up with. First of all, the Afrikaners who named themselves, by the way, is very much like whiteness. These are people, these are Boers, these are Dutch. They came in, got the nerve to bastardize African and call themselves Afrikaners. They've been in South Africa for 300 years, longer than this country's been a country. Okay, dating back to the first Dutch settlers that arrived at the Cape of Good Hope in 1652. I'm sure the natives there were like, why did we not do what the North Sentinelese anyway? So apparently there is a white cemetery over the 300-year period because people died during 300 years and they didn't want to be buried with black people. Black people and white people couldn't be buried together. So guess what? There are places where there are burial grounds for just white people. But anyway, common sense. Even though the white minority rule ended in 1994, that's called apartheid, by the way. Please, you can Google search apartheid. Google search apartheid. Just Google search it. Just search it. Search it. Yahoo search it. Mr. Jeeves it. Just search. That went away. But what didn't go away was white rule. White people occupy 62.1% of top management positions in South Africa, despite only being 7.7% of the country's economically active population. They occupy 62.1% of top management jobs, according to a recent report. I talked about the land last week, how much land they own. And now there's a program to give the land back to the people that they took it from with compensation. With compensation. They're not even above market value. They're not even taking it and not giving them anything. It's like, after the Civil War, those good Confederate generals and soldiers lost their good working enslaved people. This government paid them for every enslaved person that they lost. They got reparations. But we can't talk about reparations. Yeah, all that happened. Genocide in South Africa, that's not happening. So I'm going to give you some facts. South Africa does not release crime figures based on race. So where are you getting your numbers from, Donald Trump? They don't even release that. But the latest figures revealed that 6,953 people were murdered in the country between October and December 2024. Of those people, 12 were killed in farm attacks. So let's just, 6,953 killed in 1 month, 2024. Of those killed, 12 in farm attacks. Of the 12, 1 was a farmer. 1. While 5 were on the farms, 4 were black. 4 of the 5 that were killed were black. Do Afrikaners want to come here? Well, 59 got on a plane, got here chartered, put up, set up, got our good government money, our taxpayer dollars, going to prop up people who are so mediocre and horrible that they couldn't survive in a country set up for them to win. That's white people. They can't make it in a country set up and they want to come here. They about to find out. what's really happening. But anyway, of all the Afrikaners, and by the way, there are 2.5 million folk that make up the Afrikaner population in South Africa, 2.5 million. 70,000 of 2.5 million expressed interest in moving to the United States after Trump's offer. 70,000 said, yeah, I would come because I suck as a person. I want to be racist. I want to be more racist. It looks like America's going in the direction that I want to be. I want to be in a place where I can oppress people and call them out their name and just be horrible. Sign me up. Sign me up. 70,000 out of 2.5 million. The rest are like, we got it good here. Ask Ernie Els. Ask Retief Goosen. Is it bad in South Africa for a white person? Hell no. But 59 of 2.5 million actually got on a plane. So we gotta make it make sense as they're out here with the propaganda. We all of us individually, when you hear a lie, you gotta stomp it out, because those embers they take hold in the air, and then they blow, and then they might hit some dry kindling, and then spread like wildfire. This is how it happens, and then it's so out of control that we can't even. I feel like that some days here, that the lies are so out of control that I'm looking around like, are we being punked? Like, y'all don't know that this is a lie? Are you running with the lie or are you trolling? I can't even tell anymore. I think people really do believe the lie. And that's really sad. So, no, you don't get to do it. And shout out to President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was like, nope, it's not. No, I'm not going to let you just run with that one. And as a matter of fact, he had a little nasty line at the end. Smith, you have that where he talked about the airplane? I wish I could give you one.
That idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I take it. I would take
there we go.
If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
I know you would. Yes, of course you would, because that's what you're in it for. You were a grifter in chief. So then the narrative would change, right? If you got a plane from South Africa, you would tell a different story. What a liar.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will